Hello all. Sorry I could not be here for the presentation today because due to traveling issues, but today I'm presenting my final project on American football. So here are my values of this project, and my values are clearing up data, the storytelling of the stats, of football stats, right, and improving engagement, right, improve engagement for the fans, including myself, like how fans can get more involved, fans can get ticket prices, social media, right, and then my context of the sport, like the main point of this would be that the analytics tracks the NFL stats, also college football player stats, from like passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and tackles into today and in the future near on. Presentation I just talked about right there. And then on the bottom corner, it just talks about the sports network. So it just talks about here's the percentage and here's the measure of it. So here is the current data usage in football, right? So the first data is Pro Football Focus, also known as PFF, and it's about basically just giving out players data and covering players data and teams, and it's used to giving performance grades about it. So for example, when I watched on YouTube some football channel, right? Basically, Total Pro Sports just basically talks about football. It basically talks about this like I was cited. According to Pro Football Focus, let's just say that Byron Jones got a 69.7 on this Pro Football grade. So that's an example on like how well he's doing during the season and last season. The second data I want to talk about is Next Gen Stats, powered by AWS, quoted by Chris Collinsworth. But this data is basically about like tracking metrics like yards after catch or separate distance for like receivers and tight ends and quarterbacks. I just used a Travis Kelce, for example, as you can see on this picture right here, on how much route running, how much separation he has, and this data from AI uses RFID. According to the NFL source, RFID is about radio frequency identification, which is about these little tags that go into the player's shoulder pads or helmets. So here we're going to talk about how collecting football data works. So basically stats like apps like ESPN and NFL collect player stats from each game and total them up after the season. Social media like Twitter and Instagram, including myself, collects tweets and posts from every game. As you can see from that bottom picture right there, it says something about like Justin Tucker is washed, and then their fans receive it and they comment on it, on what they think about it. So now we're here to talk about how representing football data works, right? So basically all people in the world or the United States, especially fans, like including myself, they look at the current players today and they look at their performance, right? Performance, how they're doing, good or bad, each game. And then the bottom one is like the NFL. For some reason, the NFL announcers like to post these graphics that are representing for every NFL team how well they're doing during the season and the postseason, as you can see from the last three pictures on the slide right there. So we're going to talk about my personal connection to this data, right? The questions for this was the core elements of college or NFL players, numbers in games, and how well they're doing. Fans across the world, including myself, getting involved with American football. And I think that the digital systems impacted my field work by adding more safety. Like, for example, some players and teams are allowed to wear guarding caps and protective helmets during games. Is that so they don't get hurt again? The second impact would be like betting sports apps like parlays and fantasy football apps, which I'm doing right now. The third impact would be called Huddle, which is an app that recruiting coaches sees your film and then gives you an offer about you make a decision joining their team or not. Football is not just about how well you're doing on the field or just about stats. It's about like effort, teamwork, whether it's in meetings, position meetings, practices, and games, and workouts. I think football could play a huge role on adding the player's safety because I see people getting hurt, concussions, and having season-ending injuries because of it. digital humanities to me were like technology, like it equals with the human culture and like analyzes and visualizes like telling stories that really matter. It shows the layers that lie, like the statistics in sports or cultural or emotional type of stuff. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and here are my sources.